It was a stormy night in downtown London, where lightning carved silver cracks through the black sky, and the rain whispered secrets to the city's lonely souls. Inside the marble mansion of Alexander Knight, one of the youngest millionaires in the country, silence ruled like a ghost. The empire he had built stood proud, its walls gleaming with wealth, power, and an emptiness only he could understand. Alexander wasn't just rich, he was a man forged in pain, a man who trusted no one, not after betrayal had become his oldest friend. At exactly 2:37 a.m., the mansion's security cameras blinked off for 7 seconds, just enough time for a shadow to slip through the balcony doors. She moved like smoke, silent, smooth, and dangerous. Her name was Aria Lane, a woman of mystery with emerald eyes that could melt ice and a past she never dared to speak of. To the world, she was invisible. To Alexander, she would soon become unforgettable. Aria had spent weeks studying the mansion's security layout, memorizing every route, every guard's shift, and every blind spot. She wasn't stealing for greed, she was stealing for survival. Her younger brother was dying, and the only cure was locked behind a mountain of money she didn't have. Her target wasn't random. Alexander Knight's company had once bought the hospital that denied her brother's treatment. In her mind, stealing from him was justice. Inside his study, the air smelled of whiskey and storm. Aria's fingers trembled slightly as she cracked open the safe hidden behind a painting, the portrait of a woman with sorrowful eyes. Maybe it was his mother, maybe a lover long gone. The safe clicked open, and she exhaled in relief. Inside were stacks of cash, diamonds, and a black ledger, something that didn't belong in a millionaire's drawer unless it held secrets worth killing for. But fate wasn't on her side that night. A low voice, calm and deep, cut through the silence like a blade. "Looking for something, sweetheart?" Aria froze. The lightning outside flashed, and she saw his reflection in the glass, tall, broad-shouldered, ice cold as steel. Alexander Knight. He had been awake the whole time, watching her through the silent alarms that she thought she had disabled. She turned slowly, her pulse hammering. "Move, or I'll shoot," she said, her voice steady though her hands shook slightly. He stepped forward, unfazed by the weapon pointed at him. "You don't want to do that," he said. "You're not a killer. I can see it in your eyes." Her jaw tightened. "You don't know me." "Oh, but I will," he replied softly, his tone dangerous. For a moment, time froze, thunder roared outside, and two broken souls stared at each other across a line of danger. She wanted to escape. He wanted answers. And beneath the tension, something darker and more magnetic stirred, curiosity. Aria backed toward the window, clutching the bag tight. "Stay back," she warned. "I don't want to hurt you." Alexander smirked slightly, as if amused by her defiance. "You came here to steal from me." "You already did." She turned, smashed the window, and leapt into the rain-soaked night. The shards of glass sparkled like falling stars as she vanished into the darkness, but Alexander didn't chase her. Not yet. He didn't need to. Because the moment their eyes met, he knew something: she wasn't an ordinary thief. She was the kind of woman who left a mark deeper than bullets. The next morning, the police swarmed his estate, but Alexander gave them nothing. He told them it was a misunderstanding. In truth, he didn't want her caught. He wanted her found, by him. Alone. Days turned into weeks. But Alexander couldn't forget her. Her eyes haunted him, eyes that weren't greedy, but desperate. He hired private investigators, traced the signal of the jammer she'd used, and slowly began to uncover who she really was. When he finally learned her name, and the reason she stole, her brother, her struggle, her pain, something inside him shifted. Anger turned into intrigue. Revenge mixed with sympathy. Then one evening, fate reunited them in the most unexpected way. Aria, now working as a waitress in a small city cafe, froze when a black car pulled up outside. The door opened, and out stepped Alexander Knight, dressed in a dark coat, his presence commanding the room's silence. Their eyes met again. The same electricity, the same fire. She dropped the tray she was holding. "I believe you still owe me something," he said, his voice low, dangerous, and yet heartbreakingly calm. Her lips parted, but no words came out. He leaned closer, his eyes locking with hers. "Don't worry, Aria. I'm not here for money." His tone darkened, filled with meaning. I'm here for something far more valuable, the truth. And just like that, her world began to crumble. She had stolen from him once. Now he was going to steal something she didn't even know she still had, her guarded heart. The chapter closed with rain tapping against the cafe window as their silent battle began, a war between guilt and forgiveness, revenge and redemption, pain and love.